Hi, and welcome to Best in Tesla News, episode 123. Demand for EVs are getting so high that governments are making changes. And we have seen leaks about Elon Master Master Plan 3. And Tesla owners are apparently the most satisfied car owners on the planet. And Ford admits they are now losing money on their Mach E. Meanwhile, Tesla is raising prices yet again. And Tesla has opened up their charging network to 13 countries now. And Bloomberg thinks that Volkswagen will beat Tesla as the leader in the EV race by 2024. Not even Volkswagen themselves think that. All this and much more on today's episode. Let's dive right in.
Let's put our living stereo stylus in this groove.
The demand for EVs are getting so high that the UK government now stops all grants for EVs. Yes, effective immediately, the United Kingdom has announced it will no longer supply EV grants for most customer purchase because popularity has skyrocketed. Yes, EVs sell themselves by now, and you can see on this chart from the Department for Transport that the grants for EVs has been going down since 2015 when it was £5,000 all the way down to £1,500 here in 2022. But in 2020 we can see the UK hit the bottom of the S-curve and started shooting for the skies, even though the grants were going down. And remember, it is not just the adoption S-curve that is fast, so is the collapse of the ICE car. We need to remember both sides of the disruption, and we can see exactly that play out here in the UK. If this trend continues, we will see BEVs surpassing ICE cars already in 2024, and it will pretty much be all over by 2026 or 2027, and this is very important for the legacy automakers to wrap their head around, because the UK is not only the second largest car market in Europe, but an important place for manufacturing of several brands and models. It is home to brands like the Aston Martin, Bentley, Rolls-Royce, Jaguar and Land Rover, but also where other big car makers like Toyota and Nissan run some of their factories. And these Japanese car companies do not expect to be 100% BEVs for many decades to come. And someone like Toyota has a majority of the manufacturing for Europe in the UK, selling 90% of their production into the EU. So Brexit did not make it easier for Toyota, but if all ICE cars demand will pretty much be gone in 4 to 5 short years, they will be in even bigger trouble here in Europe, as well as the local European brands that are moving slowly, like BMW, that is still all in on ICE cars for the next 30 years. And they will reveal their new exciting ICE BMW M2 in October, which should start sales in April 2023. Yeah, I just can't get excited about these kind of cars anymore. The EVs can destroy that for me. Also because this is one of BMW's performance cars, but it should have a starting price that is higher than the Tesla Model 3. And the Tesla Model 3 will take it to school on a racetrack, in a straight line and all around the racetrack, like it did with BMW's M2 bigger brother, the M3 series. I really don't get why people would buy an M2 over a Tesla Model 3 performance that is quicker, faster, cheaper and much cheaper to run, and is safer, has more cargo space, much better software, and can get over-the-air updates. It gets better. Yeah, it makes no sense to buy the M2 ICE version anymore. No wonder that the Tesla Model 3 became the best-selling car of any kind in the UK in December and September, where it actually became the best-selling car in all of Europe. Yes, people here in Europe are really starting to wake up and see how awesome electric cars are. And we have a very decent charging network as well. And it's not like the UK government don't want to help the transition to EV anymore, but the government will concentrate funding on expanding the public charging network, as well as the electric taxis, vans, trucks, motorcycles and vehicle share accessibility vehicles. So it is very cool to see that the UK no longer needs to incentivize to sell EVs, and will now focus on making the charging network better. Just as Fastnet helped an event this week talking about how they will expand their charging network from the about 350 fast chargers they have put up so far to get to 1,000 chargers here in Europe. And I really like Fastnet. They're doing a really good job and are putting up some really fast chargers, like 300 kilowatt chargers. And they already have quite a lot of them here in Central Europe, and they are actually quite reliable. As we talked about last week, not many or most other chargers has less than 75% uptime, where Fastnet has 93% uptime. And Tesla, of course, 99.5% uptime. And 100% of Fastnet electricity comes from solar and wind. And they actually have made a great app as well, and you can activate auto charge, which is basically what we Tesla owners have with Tesla chargers. You just plug it in and then it starts charging. No need for credit card, charging plug or app when it's set up. So that is very cool and nice to see them stepping up the game and getting more chargers up faster, as we need that here in Europe with the accelerating adoption of EVs we are seeing. And Tesla is also doing their part, as they are now opening up their supercharger pilot program, where Tesla is opening up to other EVs in more countries. Now also in my country, and also Finland, Germany, Switzerland, Luxembourg, and several stations are already open to all electric owners in Netherlands, France, Norway, Sweden, Spain, United Kingdom, Belgium and Austria. It is not all charging stations yet. The most busy ones are not going to open to others before Tesla can expand them. Tesla is keeping a close eye on availability for the charging station. And I know some still think this is not a good idea, but people have to remember that firstly, Tesla's mission is to accelerate the transition to sustainable energy. So for Tesla to keep their great charging network for themselves would not help the switch to get more people to go electric. And it's not like the other EVs owners will have the same benefits as Tesla owners. Tesla owners will benefit from easy integration between the charging station and the car, optimized route planning and preheating of the battery. Tesla's owners also have access to the most attractive prices for charging at all supercharging stations as well. The others will have two options: have a subscription to Tesla superchargers that cost about $14 per month here in Denmark, and then get a charging rate that is the same as the Tesla's owners, or not have the subscription and the charging rate here in Denmark will go up to 78 cents from the 62 cents per kilowatt hour we Tesla owners pay, depending on the day, of course. Still a bargain with the current gas prices we have here in Denmark right now. We pay about $2.50 per liter, so about $10 per gallon for you Americans. Anyway, Tesla getting more people to use their charging station will also allow Tesla to aggressively expand the charging network faster. So this is a good thing for all of us. Remember, Tesla will not open up stations that are already super busy. And just think of the advertisement Tesla will get from this, that every EV owner is going to want to use Tesla's supercharging network because it is the biggest and fastest here in Europe and the US. So every EV owner will have to download the Tesla app, create a Tesla account and charge at the Tesla chargers. And their EV brand has not made a great charging network for their customers. Tesla is going to look like the heroes for all EV owners. This is going to be the biggest advertising stunt in the history of the automotive industry for Tesla, and how they are leading the way, partly paid by the competitors' customers. I still think this is brilliant, and most importantly, it is the right thing to do to help Tesla's mission, and Tesla will always do the right thing, even if that means taking away some of their competitive edge. And Electric got hold of some details from an internal meeting at Tesla, where Elon also talked about the Master Plan 3. He said Master Plan Part 3 is all about achieving a very large scale in order to shift the entire energy infrastructure and transport infrastructure of Earth. There has to be a very high scale. We have to ask, what is the actual tonnage? If we work backwards from, let's say, about 300 terawatt hours of installation capacity in vehicles and stationary battery packs, then how do you achieve the tonnage from the mining and refining standpoint, but also do so in in a sustainable way. Elon summed up, that's what Master Plan Part 3 is. How do we get enough scale to actually shift the entire energy infrastructure of Earth? Yes, Elon was not kidding when he said they are going for extreme scale. And this is a very good showcase of how big Tesla thinks and take action accordingly. Compared to companies like Ford, which tripled their target last year, but have not taken any action on how they are actually going to get those batteries or materials for that tripling of their target. But going to be very exciting to see Master Plan Part 3 when Elon release it, and to see Tesla execute on that as well. And Tesla's a big push in the charging infrastructure we talked about is also, of course, a big piece of this plan to shift the entire energy infrastructure of Earth, making the charging infrastructure for that and the Gigafactory for the energy storage and the solar roof ramp and the Powerwall. All these areas of Tesla's business are about to scale to extreme. And because Tesla have made the necessary steps by making deals with mining companies and battery suppliers and so on, Tesla will be able to do this. But someone like Ford has unfortunately not made all these steps, preparing themselves for massive scale. The demand, the pace of adoption and the material cost all comes as a big surprise for Ford, and therefore they are now losing money on their Mach E. Ford's CFO admits that Ford doesn't earn any money on Ford Mach E anymore. They said they did, but now they don't. So they probably didn't earn a lot of money, and the average price of a Mach E should be a bit above $50,000, just as Tesla's cars, but Tesla earns like 25% on their Fremont-made Model Y, so a very big difference here between what Ford is able to make an EV for compared to Tesla. Ford loses money and Tesla earns like $10,000 per car. And Ford's CFO didn't state how much the company could be potentially losing at this time on every Mach E it sells. He stated the cost for the EV went up to the tune of $25,000. Wow, that sounds a bit high, but I of course don't know. But it for sure shows us that GM lowering their prices for their Bolt during all of this is not because they can make it cheaper. It is simply to get people to actually buy this inferior EV. Maybe Ford should have looked at Tesla as they raised their prices through 2021 because they saw the material cost increase coming, but to Ford it's all a big surprise, just like the demand was all a big surprise. But Tesla is actually raising prices yet again, as Zach tweeted out this week, so Tesla is constantly adjusting the prices to make sure they don't end up in a situation like Ford. So my guess would be that if Ford is not making money on the Mach E, they are certainly not making money on their much bigger F-150 Lightning that's had a starting price of $40,000 with a much bigger battery in it. And Ford is really trying to ramp up the production of these EVs, but what will Ford do when they are losing money on every one they sell? They can't stop the ramp they are trying to do, because then they will be left behind in the transition to the EV, which is the future of the car market. Or will they start raising the prices now? We have to wait and see what will happen. But if you're looking at buying a Mach E, now would probably be a good time before they might raise the prices. But unfortunately, you can't really order one right now because the orders Ford already have will keep Ford busy making the Mach E's for the next couple of years. So Ford stopped orders. So Ford is in a bit of trouble here as demand is high, production volume is low, and the price of the car is still too low. Probably because they wanted to have a price close to the Model Y, since their Mach E doesn't offer better specs than the Model Y, and to be competitive with Tesla. So Tesla is kind of setting the price level here, but that now means that Ford is no longer making money on the Mach E that they have to produce for the next couple of years. So now all they can do is cross their fingers that the material cost comes down again fast, so they will start earning some money on their Mach E's. And all this drama while Ford's ICE business is dropping off a cliff, and they have to recall more than 3.3 million vehicles in North America that could roll away because of damaged or missing part may prevent the vehicle from shifting into the intended gear. Yeah, it's not easy being Ford Motors these days. And if you want a car that you know you will be very happy with as a customer, well, get a Tesla. It is not only me saying that, a report for highest owner satisfaction ratings is saying that. Tesla has topped the list of most satisfied customers in the entire auto industry, with Model 3 ranking at the top spot for all cars globally. So Toby released a report tracking 4 different car owner ratings report from Parker's, Honest John, Autotrader and Edmunds in order to put together a global owner happiness tracker. And what do you know? Tesla Model 3 is the most satisfying car globally. And as a brand, Tesla is also the most satisfying car brand on the planet. And here in Europe, the Tesla Model 3 was also the most satisfying car. And these are customers that are saying this. Some might say that it's because they paid a lot of money for that car, so they want it to be good. Well, Mercedes actually does not score that well with its own customers, and they have paid even more money for their cars. So maybe this has something to do with the pure joy it is owning a Tesla. You don't have the hassle of needing to go to the dealership for service and checks once or twice a year, as I did with my last car, and it is fun to drive. It's the safest car on the road, and there is rarely anything wrong with this car. Yes, you can find people complaining about something, but you can find that with any car produced and any product produced. But remember, it was only a couple of years ago that we saw that Tesla also led the board in China, the world's biggest car market, of least complaints. Again, the Tesla Model 3 topped the list with a huge margin. This was before the Model Y was even there. The average complaint rate for all vehicles was 37.2 per 10,000 cars. Remarkably, the Model 3 received only a 0.7 complaints per 10,000 car. In comparison, the Mercedes-Benz A-Class received 600% more complaints. Maybe, just maybe, this has something to do with Tesla leading the way with the most happy customers on the planet, and Mercedes customers are at the bottom of the list. And that 95% of all Tesla's recalls they have been able to fix with an over-the-air update. And these over-the-air updates have also made the car better, giving new features, all for free. I am a Tesla owner, so I of course know that yes, these are the things that makes me a very happy Tesla owner. And this is one of the reasons why Tesla doesn't need to spend money on advertising. The product is simply that good. And the more people that buys a Tesla, well, the more people are going to want to buy a Tesla, because us happy Tesla owners can't stop talking about just how awesome it is. And Bloomberg thinks Volkswagen will beat Tesla as the leader in the EVs already by 2024. As they write in the report, Tesla is likely to retain its global #1 battery electric vehicle sales spot for at least another 18 months, as legacy automakers struggle to sell a meaningful share of BEVs in 2022 and in 2023, according to new major report on the global EV sector by research firm Bloomberg Intelligence. I'm not so sure about that word intelligence there, because they have some crazy claims and no numbers to back them up how they got to these numbers or anything. Because they think Tesla will not be able to make the growth that they say they will be able to do, about 50% growth, because they only think that Tesla will make less than 2.5 million vehicles in 2025. So I wonder what the rest of Tesla's factory should be doing at that point. Because 2.5 million, well, Shanghai, with the ramp we see right now and the expansion that has been announced, that factory should be able to produce 1.5 million on its own at that point. And the Texas factory, well, Tesla has said is a 1 million plus factory. We know that plus is probably a very big plus, but even without the plus, Texas and Shanghai alone in 2025 will be able to produce 2.5 million cars. So I guess Bloomberg's Intelligence think that the Berlin and Fremont factory will just stop making cars? This is just ridiculous. They have definitely not used their intelligence. Tesla should easily be able to produce 3.5 million at that point. But I personally would bet that Tesla would be closer to 5 million than 3.5 million at that point. I will set my guess at about 4.5 million in 2025, and that would be my conservative guess. And when it comes to the Volkswagen Group, Bloomberg doesn't believe Volkswagen's target either. But that is the other way around. I don't know where Bloomberg gets these numbers, but it is not from Volkswagen. Because Volkswagen have targets like 70% BEVs in 2030 in Europe, but only expect globally to be a 50% BEVs in 2030, and had a target of 1.5 million in 2025, but I believe they have raised that target to 1.8 million in 2025. But Bloomberg thinks they will do better than that and expect Volkswagen to be at 2.5 million in 2025. It is of course possible, but it is not what Volkswagen is aiming for. But no matter what, Tesla will be far above that anyway, so that will not make them the leader in the BEVs. But we don't have the same trend with Volkswagen as we do with, for example, Tesla or BYD, that does deliver more BEVs in Q1 this year than they did in Q4 last year. That shows us that BYD and Tesla are growing very, very fast because their BEV deliveries are not affected by the seasonal swings in the new car sales. But Volkswagen's is. They sold less BEVs in Q1 than they did in Q4. So I don't see the massive growth Bloomberg is talking about here, because Volkswagen only had like 5% BEVs last year and are maybe heading for 6 to 7% this year. They only delivered 99,000 in Q1, right? The Volkswagen brand itself actually dropped about 44% in Q1 compared to Q4, where Tesla still grew and is right now pulling further away from Volkswagen. So if Volkswagen hits their target of 700,000 BEVs this year, I will be very surprised. But Bloomberg also talks about the 6 battery factories that Volkswagen will have online by 2030. Yes, 2030. They only expect to have one online in 2023 and another one to start production in 2025. So will by no means be at full capacity, which is 40 gigawatt hours per factory in 2025. So those two factories will maximum be able to produce 80 gigawatt hours, and that is very unlikely to be already in 2025. But still, that would not be enough for much more than 1.2 million cars. So I don't understand how Bloomberg gets to these much higher numbers than Volkswagen and Herbert Diess have set themselves, and why Tesla's numbers are so much lower than Tesla has set themselves, and what we know they will have factory capacity for. So this report from Bloomberg Intelligence is not going to age well in my opinion. I will put a little reminder on this report. Check back and see who got closest, the big Bloomberg Intelligence or this random guy with his little YouTube channel called Best in Tesla. Time will tell. And let's get our weekly update about Tesla's Gigafactory. That means handing it over to Brian from My Tesla Weekend. Take it away, Brian.
Hey Lars. Well, in Shanghai this week, we actually get to see some progress. This little building in the northwest corner has got walls and is well underway. Nothing else really to report from Shanghai. In Berlin, at the far north of the site, there's a double-decker charging station. It looks like it's done, but not yet in use. That'll be interesting to watch. The extension to the stamping building is getting more piling work done. And at the south end of the site, the parking lot regrade is almost done and asphalt work has begun. The 4680 building is closing off nicely with interior work underway. And in the northwest, over by the loading and logistics lot, well, this road is turned into Dumpster Boulevard, or Skipstrasse, if you prefer. In Texas, more of the parking around the building has been torn up for rework. They're replacing asphalt with concrete because it better supports heavier loads. The main parking lot is also getting more rework done. It's looking good. And to the south of the parking lot, this little hill we've been watching is still getting bigger. No idea what's going on there. They might just be storing the dirt there temporarily. The big news is the cathode building is back underway, and it is showing a lot of progress, and it's moving very quickly. If you want to know how quickly, I have a whole series on it over on my channel you can check out. And then, of course, the VOC retention pond is just about gone. It's being regraded. This is where the expanded switch yard and electrical station will be. And then on the roof at the north end of the property, we've got the T in Tesla emerging in solar panels. Back to you, Lars.
Thank you so much for that update, Brian. See you next week. And let's squeeze in the last short news topics into this new show. Yes, it's time for the Tesla Shorts. And don't forget, if you have just bought a brand new Tesla, that you can get a PPF wrap off your car to protect it. And Drive Protected makes these great PPF wraps off your car, but you don't have to go to them to do it. The guys from Drive Protected have a whole YouTube channel where they show and explain exactly how to wrap your Tesla, so you can do it yourself, even if you live here in Europe or anywhere else. And they can, of course, guide you through the process if you need more help. So this is actually something everybody can do themselves. And they just put up a new video where they put a protection film on a brand new Tesla Model Y. So if you are one of the lucky ones that have just got a brand new Tesla Model Y, you can learn how to easily put on Drive Protected PPF wrap to protect your precious new Model Y. So if you would like to protect your brand new Tesla, use my discount code BIT20 to get 20% off any order over $300 of Drive Protected great PPF wraps. The code is good for worldwide orders, so go nuts, my friends. And from the meeting inside Tesla, where Electric got the news about the Master Plan Part 3, Elon also said about building the new Gigafactories. We are looking at sites, but we are considering site options more broadly in North America, so including Canada, Mexico and US as well. And I could add maybe more than one place. But can't wait to hear where the next Gigafactory will be, but we will probably have to wait until the end of 2022 for Tesla to announce anything official. But Indonesia continues to wow Tesla with proposal for an EV factory with an annual production capacity of 500,000 cars. So maybe we'll get 2 new factories, or maybe 3 factories being built at the same time yet again. And Nick has shared this top list of Tesla's market. Number 1, of course, being the US, and in very close second China, and then third Germany before the Berlin factory, and fourth the UK, and fifth Canada. And Ford will recall 48,924 Mach E's units from 2021-2022, pretty much all their Mach E's. Ford dealerships will still be able to sell the units, but deliveries will not occur until automakers roll out new software update that will fix the issue. Ford spokespersons told Teslarati that the issue is fixable through software update and will not require maintenance or service from dealers, so that is very good news. And Elon was asked on Twitter about the Starship first orbital flight test, and Elon replied, "Starship will be ready to fly next month. I was in the High Bay and Mega Bay late last night reviewing progress." Oh yes, I think we will have an extra hot summer this year. And he added, "We will have a second Starship stacked ready to fly in August and then monthly thereafter." Oh yes, it's about to get real, ladies and gentlemen. It's about to get real. And it's not only Tesla's cars the Chinese want to copy. Tesla is apparently suing Tesla beer maker in China over trademark infringement. I do see why. And Stephen Steele tweeted this article from CNN. Elon could threaten free speech on Twitter by literally allowing people to speak freely. I mean, what the heck? But Shibitoshi tuned in and said most people don't want free speech, they want whatever benefits them speech. And Elon replied, 100. And Elon also held a meeting with Twitter. The video from this is 1 hour long, but if you just want to get the highlights and have some fun while doing so, Stephen McRyan made a whole video about this, so check that one out if you want to hear what Elon and the Twitter employees had to say about the whole thing, link down below. Or if you are a Twitter employee, you might want to watch Fasad's video about this topic, link also down below. And the Boring Company's Las Vegas Loop has received anonymous approval from the Las Vegas City Council, who voted to expand the loop to city limits in downtown Las Vegas. It will eventually connect 29 miles of tunnel and 51 stations together with autonomous electric vehicles shuttling passengers from one place to another. And together the Model 3 and Y accounted for 62.8% of new EV registration in the first quarter, while Tesla's 4 models together captured 71.7% of the EV market. 2 models over 60% of the market. Yes, we don't want 30 different EV models. We just want a lot of units. And as Ray for Tesla tweeted, apparently one car is better than the other. And Jay in Shanghai shared this video of Tesla getting ready for the end of the quarter push. Indeed. And the Tesla semi-truck is still being tested on the ground of Frito-Lay's factory in California. Frito-Lay is a subsidiary of PepsiCo that has a big order in for the Tesla semi-truck and was supposed to get the 15 semi-trucks in January to test it out, but that of course never happened. But now the employees at the facility say they have been told company use is coming soon. So I hope this means that these 15 test vehicles, but fully functional semi-truck, will go to Pepsi and they can get some real-world testing of them before Tesla start volume production of the semi-truck starting next year. And if you think EVs don't last very long, well, a Tesla Model S has now been driven for 1 million miles. Well, that's not too bad, is it? And before we end up with a bit of fun, I just want to make a quick shout out to my newest patrons and members of this YouTube channel. Daniel Bergquist, Maria Stockman, Donald Hilzabeck, JJ Falconer. And I thank you for watching, member Linda Burasa. Thank you so much for all your support. I am doing this all by myself, but you guys are all the producers of this new show. Thank you. And a big and special thanks to Supporter of the Week, and this week's winner is Emmy Polberg. Emmy has been a thank you for watching members of mine for more than 21 months. Thank you so much, Emma, for all your support. Please contact me on this email down below so I can send you your free t-shirt or mug of your choice. Thank you. And let's end off with a bit of fun. Good intentions do not always end up with good results. That is all we have time for in this news show. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to hit that like button. It really does help out this video a lot. And if you did like it, maybe you want to consider hitting that subscribe button, notification bell, so you don't miss out on future videos just like this one. If you're already a subscriber, thank you so much for your support. And if you want to support the channel even more, remember you can, for as little as $1, become a patron of this channel and get your shout out on this show. You can also become a member of the YouTube channel to get a shout out and some extra perks. Hit the members button to find out more. And don't forget to follow me on Twitter. I tweet all the news as it comes out and more. And check out the merch store to get some merchandise and support the show. Now it's also possible to support the show without buying anything, becoming a member or a patron. There is a link to a donation options in the show notes. And also as simple as hitting the super like button. But going forward, I will be making more videos for patrons and members only. And I will give my YouTube members and patrons early access to my videos whenever possible and make my videos ads free for members and patrons only. So don't miss out. And thank you for watching. And until next time, take care out there and be nice.